Yeah, right. Good
I like
morning,
that.
everybody. Another episode, was it number 31 or 32, Kelly, for Wayne's World and Kelly?
Hi, nice to meet you, Wayne.
Well, we have a special guest on this morning, Stacy Titleman, executive with GrandManors slash RealManage. Welcome to the show, Stacy, and I'm delighted that you came on today.
Oh, thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Kelly. Just so happy to be here.
Excited to have you on, but before we get started, I need to make a couple announcements. This is a new special. We have a new sponsor this week, L Expos, one of your premier companies across the country that do these great expos. And so I want to run down some dates. On March 24th in Naples, April 4th in Broward County, April 11th, West Palm Beach, April 26th, Orlando, the 27th of April in Tampa, and then also on April 1st, not part of L&L, CONDOFEST, April 1st, which I think is a great day to do it, is going to be in Palm Beach County. So I wanted to throw all that stuff out. And Dawn Miller of the Paving Lady asked me to mention all that stuff. Another great sponsor of the show. So I like that. We're making money before we start spending it, because Stacy wasn't inexpensive to get on the show. You're probably one of the most demanding women we've ever met. She had to have a green room with special M&Ms. I mean, come on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry I broke the bank, guys, but I hope it'll be worth it. I really hope it will.
Wayne promised me that you were worth that and more.
Ah, Wayne's the best. Thank you, Wayne.
No, absolutely. You're welcome. In celebration of March being National Women's Month, Stacy, in the years that I've gotten to know you, I've watched your career trajectory path take off, and kind of explain a little bit about what this month means to you, and about the strong women in leadership that you are around, particularly in GrandManors and RealManage.
Oh yeah, I really, to me, it starts even before that. As women, as leaders, I think it's a great thing that we're providing an inspiration to either the young women in the organization, or even, the little girls in our lives, in our families' lives, right? We're inspiring them that you too can do this. And I think that's pretty cool that we're showing, all these great women leaders in this month to just give that inspiration right out to those we work with. And again, all those little girls out there that are hoping to be something one day.
I feel like, because my first name's Kelly, that I am part of National Women's Month.
Yes. Yeah. You're an honoree, 100%. Yes. Your tiara is in the mail. Your tiara is in the mail. It's coming.
It's amazing how many women executives that RealManage has that I know and are so great all the way around. Sandra Villamora comes to mind in particular. I know she's one that is nationally known and is just a great all-around sharp businesswoman, and extremely pleasurable to be around, and just represents our industry so fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. The other executive women that are on our team are also all just absolutely phenomenal. It's an honor and it's a privilege to work with them. We all really complement each other so well. Really, there's nothing we can't accomplish when we get together. It's pretty phenomenal.
I think mainly what I recognize in a powerful woman, or a woman that's really making things happen. Like, I had Michelle Hastings was over earlier working on a project with me, who's another great woman who's out there. And you're great people. It's being a woman is just a bonus, because you guys, y'all rule us guys around. But very few people that use something as a crutch are successful. People that use all that they have to empower is amazing. And I find that a huge plus for anybody who's just a great leader. You're not sitting there thinking of reasons why things aren't going to happen. You're just solution oriented.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I also think we have to fulfill the prophecy of the great Beyonce, right? I mean, she said, "Who'll run the world? Girls." So we've just got to do that. we've got to fulfill that prophecy. It's that simple.
With a mother, 5 sisters, and a daughter, I've never thought anything different than what Beyonce said. So I was programmed 60 years ago, and I'm still buying it.
It's clear. It's clear as day.
I think it's nice that some women pretend that men run the world, because that's so silly.
I gotta tell you though, Kelly, that's our secret. Shh.
Oh,
don't you just totally
because
let
my
me
name,
out.
I'm allowed to know this stuff, I guess.
Again.
I think Kelly, I think you hit on a really good point about the good positive parenting. I was lucky and very fortunate to have the 2 best parents that I think any kid could have. In particular, having a very strong role model with my mother regarding everything from the fitness regimen that she had every day, to having her own career, to always being home for my sister and I when we got home from school, and doing that, and not in any kind of like a hey, look at me type deal. I mean, she just did it, right? And so being able to witness that and having that being so impactful on my life was probably the best gift that she gave me. Definitely.
Very
That's
cool.
great. We love
So,
Mom.
Stacy, what's your background? I know it, but can you share it with some of the viewers that aren't familiar? Because this is your current position, but you used to be in a beautiful area of the country. I think we call it Southeast Florida. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. I still get my mail there, just for the record. So I'm still.
Well, what's his name?
Oh, he's a wonderful human being. His name is Steve. Yeah, so I've grown up in this business, literally grown up in this business. Started back in 1993, and I worked for a CPA firm. I'm an accountant by education. So I started in a CPA firm in our industry, and I was there for quite a long time. And we had mutual clients that were properties, right? So we had a property manager that we hung out with when I had to go to meetings at that young, tender age. I had to go to budget meetings and face board members and all that then. And one of the managers said, "You need to come work for us. Like, we need some horsepower in our accounting department." And we were called bookkeepers then. I mean, I'm going back to, we're almost at that days of abacus, but anyhow, right? The abacus. So I went over to that company and I interviewed, and it was then known as the Continental Group, and got hired on the spot. And I spent the next 16 and a half years with that company, which then became known as FirstService Residential.
Right.
And I hung out in the accounting department for quite a long time, and then had a great opportunity to become a project manager and implement some systems. And that kind of led itself to FirstService as the residential corporate company coming and saying, "Hey, we need some help running some projects across the country. What do you think?" Oh my gosh, absolutely. Challenge accepted. And I spent quite a few years there with them and did a lot of great things. And spent a lot of time with a bunch of different departments in our industry through those projects. So I got to learn all about, well, what does HR do for us? And what does marketing do for us? And what does sales do for us? And what all these other departments have to do with? Because all I knew at the young, tender age was accounting, right? And now I got to see how all these important departments have to work together to serve the client, right? All together, because it's that whole, we're greater than the sum of our parts in what we do. And then fast forward, I spent some years with the Castle Group, and I know you had Jordan on last week, so I'm sure his ears are burning. But that was great. And then RealManage came along and said, "Hey, we've got a national opportunity for you. We want you to put all that experience to work and help us grow this cool division called GrandManors." Okay, let's do it. Right. And that was 3 years ago. And that's the very short story. 30 years, it's hard to compress into a couple of minutes, but yeah, I did all right.
You did it because you're a woman. So
here we are.
Yeah. It's amazing how many people, I've been here a little bit over 4 years. I came from the DC market, which is also an amazing area for property management. Some really great companies. There are a lot of great people that I met. But Continental had such a huge impact. It's the company that seems like birthed so many great careers and so many leaders in our industry now. I wish I'd been around for that.
Yeah.
I was too young to know about Continental.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let us elders educate you. Yeah, it's fine. But yes, it was it really just, it was, to say it was family. I learned a whole lot. The caring, the Gene Gomberg was the guy who started all of that. Wonderful human being, mentor for so many of us. Yeah, it really is. That's a great statement, Kelly.
Sure. It's you can't avoid hearing about Continental,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's
Stacy, explain a little bit about the GrandManors division. We're going to be a proud co-sponsor of your leadership conference next month in Dallas. Explain the luxury offering that GrandManors has to offer the industry, and about how that might be a little bit different from some other divisions within RealManage.
Sure, absolutely. So GrandManage, that's my new phrase. It's GrandManors. RealManage. I don't know. It doesn't really roll off the tongue. GrandManors was a division that started actually back in 2015. RealManage as a company has been around, 25, 30 years, quite some time. And in 2015, Dwayne McPherson, my predecessor, was sitting with Chris O'Neill, our CEO, and said, I think we need to start focusing on a higher level of service. We seem to have some clients that are requiring more. And how about we start this new division called GrandManors, so that we can provide that level of service to that, that type of client. Great idea. And that's how it started. Like, really, I mean, we talk about that. It was in Caesar's Palace after a CAI conference, just sitting around talking about it. And over the course of the last 8-9 years, we've built it into 65 communities, over 55,000 homes, and in 6 states throughout the country, with the whole backing of our RealManage backbone, which is really exciting. And in terms of why what we do is different, well, the good part about us is we do have this big national backbone that helps all of our, it helps us operate. And then our team, our vice presidents, are out in the field with those clients in terms of boots on the ground, helping our teams, mentoring those managers, and having that very close direct relationship with those board members in those communities. So because we are still in a very big building phase, right? I mean, we're kind of young in terms of this, this product and service. And then there's others in our industry that have been there and been doing that for quite some time. So we really believe we have an advantage to provide a much closer connection with the client. Our VPs, the vice presidents of on-site management, are that relationship person. There's no deep layering in between. So we really just provide that we're right here, right now for you service to these clients. And we understand, which is pretty cool, having diverse communities and in different parts of the country. We understand that unique is unique. Every community is unique. We do not fit anybody in a box. That's the difference. We really do not fit you in a box. We understand you're different. If I had $1 for every time I heard that, our community's different. Yes, we know. And that's the beauty of GrandManors, because we curate the experience for you. We don't tell you how you're going to, create that experience in your community. We help, but we don't tell you how. So I think that's really the big difference.
There's a lot of things I can respond to on that, but I'm going to behave. All communities are special.
Yeah, they certainly are.
So do y'all provided a higher level of concierge service, or what separates you guys from your parent company?
Right. So the RealManage team primarily focuses on what we call portfolio management, which is one manager that serves multiple communities. And then there's the back office staff that helps support that manager and those communities. With GrandManors, the team is on site, right? They're dedicated to your community. They are there on site. There's an office on site. They report to that on-site office. And so they get intimately familiar with the community and what they need and what they need to do in order to create that great experience.
Gotcha. Any golf courses?
We have communities with golf courses, and then typically there's a golf course provider that helps. Although there is one community in Vail, Colorado, which is absolutely beautiful. It's literally homes in a mountain with a golf course.
Wow.
And we're taking over the short course, so we can say that we have golf course experience.
Wow, Vail, Colorado, what a name dropper. Gee, that's exciting.
Beautiful. Yeah, those are the kinds of communities that really appreciate what we do.
We normally don't go that far, but I might have to do an on-site inspection, just make sure everything's going well.
You
know, I think we might have to have you do that.
I got a question for you regarding, like, kind of I don't know if I'm going to use the right term, but like the vetting process that GrandManors must go through to talk with the boards to get the flavor of the community about what kind of offerings that they want. The first thing that comes to my mind, it's kind of an elevated level of a knowledge that a CAM has to have to be able to be involved in the deliverables of the luxury product that GrandManors represents. Tell me a little bit about what that looks like as far as from the beginning part to then how you're going to oversee that in the standards. I understand every community is different, but talk a little bit about that process, about how you arrive at what they want in the deliverables part of it.
Yeah, that's a good question, very deep question. So I'll try to just broad brush the answer there. So from the very start, first of all of our managers, we really refer to them as general managers because they need to be that level, that quality of manager. Okay. Somebody that just kind of stepped out of I don't know, school, right? Maybe that's not the right candidate for a GrandManors position, a GrandManors general manager position, but they'd be great to get them on board and groom them and grow them. We love that. But typically speaking, they need to have their CAI credentials as well, which is really important because the education aspect is critical, not only for the manager. So they need at least a CMCA. We love the AMS. We love the PCAM. And we also help inspire and motivate our teams to continue growing and learning to get those additional credentials through CAI, so they can then bring that education into the community. Because again, every community is different, and I think that's also part of the vetting process. Is that you need to have a manager with the right experience that's going to be able to lead and take care of that community's needs, because every community, if you're used to let's just say large scale homeowner associations, and then we need someone who's a high-rise general manager, well, the mechanical, electrical, plumbing needs and all kinds of other physical envelope and all that of a high-rise is very different. So we have to make sure that we have the right fit also in terms of personality. Do they mesh with the community, right? There's a lot of chemistry really that goes into that equation. And we also introduce those qualified candidates to the board, and we make sure that they both will appreciate working with each other before we put them in that seat. So it's a collaborative effort even.
True. I got another question for you, but before I do, I want to say thanks to our sponsors, WRG, Becker Law, M2E Engineering, of course, LGC. I don't know if everybody saw this, but we got our new hard hats, so they look pretty good. And then
those are pretty swanky.
Last but not least, every morning I start my day with Rockin' Wellness. It's a great health shake that you have with vanilla almond milk and a frozen banana. Huh?
Hey, it's good stuff.
One more. Callaway Blue. If you're going to drink water, there's no better water on the planet than Callaway Blue. So let me ask you this, because it is National Women's Month or international. There's some question if is it national or international. So what woman?
Internet.
You're going with inter? Okay.
I am.
I'm more of just a US guy, you know, except for vacations.
Sorry.
So what one woman had the greatest impact on you in your life? Other than your mother?
This is a hard question because, okay, I have one.
Here we go.
Yeah, I have one. Yeah. There was a lady, a woman that I worked with, and she was an executive coach. And she had an extensive HR background. She also had, she was very pedigreed as well. I can't remember to exactly what level. So she was highly educated, understand business organization, great mentor. And she really sat down with me and helped me learn who I was. And one of the most important things I took away from what she taught me was we should be focusing on our strengths. We all have weaknesses. We're right. Inherent, right? But that's not what
Wayne's
we should
got
focus
a ton
on.
of them.
Thank you.
I'm not touching that. But we tend to say, well, what can I fix and make better about myself? Versus, well, what am I really good at? And let me focus on that and bring that to the table, bring that to myself, my job, my family, my life. Because if you're always focusing on the negative, then you're forgetting about how wonderful you are with those other things that you bring. So that was one takeaway from that, her coaching with me.
Right. That's powerful. I love that. I love it. And it wasn't a school teacher, which I was afraid that's where you were going to go. And there's a lot of great teachers out there, but I like that it was somebody that you did business with, that you truly did develop your craft with as a result of interaction with that person. So, you know, we did not prepare you with that question. So I thought you handled it extremely well. We like to always have a nice little twist.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad something came to mind.
I was afraid Wayne was going to say, so if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? And I'm like, Wayne, you cannot ask anybody that question, dude. You can't ask them.
No, but as a follow-up, though, to what you said, I will ask Stacy. So being in a mentoring position, have you taken then what your mentor taught you and then make that part of the development process with the folks that are under you as far as, you know, the strength versus weaknesses, which, by the way, I very much agree with you on focusing on the strengths. It used to be the weaknesses. I think the strengths part, I think that's kind of one, because to your point, the weaknesses tend to be a negative. So elaborate a little bit about that on the mentoring part of your job.
Yeah, that's probably one of the favorite things, because as we get older, not that any of us are on this call.
I'm the oldest.
Okay, good. I'm glad you said that.
Wayne usually points that out.
Yeah. Okay. I thought last week was the other way around in the other episode, but maybe I didn't hear correctly. In any case, today you're the oldest, so that's all that matters. But I literally had an opportunity yesterday. I was at one of our communities, and you could just see they're young and hungry, and even those that are within the RealManage GrandManors team, to be able to share the experiences that I've had, and let them know that you can be strong. You can say how you feel. You can work through a challenge with whomever, whether it's a board member or a resident. And we know that we're in the property management industry, but it's so people centric that learning how to deal with and communicate with people is so important. So when I see that there's an opportunity to share the how and the why, or even if someone comes to me, which to me is so, it's just heartwarming when they say, hey, I got to walk through something. Would you mind if I ask you how? Please go ahead. I always and will always have time to give that mentoring moment. I think it's our obligation as leaders. That's one of the primary reasons why we're in these seats.
And how great is it when whether you're interviewing somebody or they're already on your team and they're younger? You know, I'm clicking 60 in a couple of days. So I love it when some of the younger people on our team, or just younger people I see out in the community, are looking to do better, because so many of them aren't. So many of them just like, they feel, okay, pay me, I'm here. But to have those ones that are really looking, and we've got some on our team that we had a lunch and learn last week, and I watched one of our great experience, but still in his 20s, go up to the speaker right after the event was over to talk to her more about it. And I was like the proud, dad looking at him going, look at that, he's going for it. And that's key. It's great. What the worst thing to do is you're a mentor, but you have no mentees, because you don't have the people that are looking and striving to do better. So
yeah. And growing. I think it's also important that we're in these seats. It's an obligation, like I said, to help grow the future leaders, right? I mean, we need successors. We need future leaders. So that's, again, it's so exciting to be able to your point, Kelly, see someone who has that potential, who's willing to listen and learn and be like, oh, come here, right? I mean, sit down, boy, do I have a lot to share with you, right? And it's so rewarding. And then you see them grow, you see them get that promotion and change their lives. On top of it all, you're changing their life by giving them that, by giving them those tools.
I love that, Stacy. Cool. Changing lives. And it sounds like you've had a lot of great impact with people. So Wayne's going to go back into the trade show. We appreciate him stepping out and breaking the code of ethics of Expo 101, but he's, there's no Wayne's World without Wayne. So
and it's just world. I mean, it's just world.
I definitely, for sure. I mean, not like what I would ever want to miss any one of our shows, Kelly, but Stacy is definitely one of the people that I met a couple of years ago, and for lack of a better way of putting it, kind of developed kind of a fast friendship, with the understanding that just who she is as a person at her core. I couldn't wait to get you on. I'm sorry it took this long. Definitely looking forward to talking to you further, along with the other RealManage folks, in about a month. And it's going to be exciting to be with you in Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeehaw is right. That's right.
Now, do you live in Dallas? Where do you live now?
No, I get my mail, Kelly, in the Southeast Florida.
Oh, you still really do live there? Oh, I thought you were living over on the other coast. So
no, I get my mail there, but I'm everywhere. I am everywhere because I'm national. So I just go where I need to be.
So when you go to Dallas, you'll see one of our previous guests, Derek Collins, who is a Major League Baseball pitcher. And hopefully he's going to get picked up here real soon during preseason to throw another great season. He's freaking firing that ball this year. So he mentioned Dallas. So I always like to mention some of our previous guests.
Yeah, well, that's incredible. And I thank you both for having me. And thank you, Wayne, for being one of our great sponsors of our leadership conference. We're super, super excited to see you and get together and just have a great time and learn a bunch of stuff.
Awesome. I'm going back to the show. I appreciate you both. Stace, be good, be well, and I will be seeing you shortly, okay?
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.